Hey everybody, it's Doug Schauf with Remax Oceanside of MakeMaineYourHome.com. Whether you're watching or listening to the Make Maine Your Home podcast, make sure you hit subscribe and also check off that little bell so you get notified when new episodes come out. In this week's episode of the Make Maine Your Home podcast, I'm sitting down with Brian Clunie, and he goes by the Mainely Digger. He's got an awesome YouTube channel and loves the history of Maine. So let's do this. All right, everybody, I am here with Brian Clunie. He goes by Mainely Digger. He's got an awesome YouTube channel that I came across recently, and I instantly sent him a message saying, "Hey, man, we need to talk." So I got him on the podcast, and Brian, thanks a lot for coming on with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's fun. I enjoy this.
Yeah, no, I think this is going to be a great conversation. I'm really excited about it. So let's start off. Let's learn a little bit about you, Brian, before we dive into exactly what you do on your YouTube channel. But where are you from?
So my parents were in the Navy, and I was born in California, in San Diego.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I've pretty much been all over just throughout my life. I spent a lot of time in Michigan.
Okay.
My father's family's from Michigan, and that's kind of where I got my love of history from. My grandfather was a amateur archaeologist, and he would, like, as a little kid, he would take me out on digs and stuff, and he would explain stuff and talk about local history. My great grandfather was I guess you'd call off the boat Scottish. He immigrated. Clunie is a Scottish name.
Yeah.
And if you notice on my YouTube channel, the I forgot what it's called. The thing in the right corner is the symbol.
Yeah.
It's our clan.
Oh
thing.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, a little like watermark thing. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. He would talk about our family history in Scotland and tell stories. I was extremely young, so I didn't really understand it at the time, and
Right.
he was extremely old. But it just, like, if you talk to people now, it formed my opinion of history and events. I love history because it's, if you don't learn it, if you don't learn the correct history, or if you don't learn what happened, someone else is going to tell you how it was, and it's not always true. So if you talk to anybody from Scotland, they don't really know, like, they weren't taught their history in school. So it's interesting to see the educational gap, or what's taught or what's known here, and the what's not known or what's not taught, and people don't understand.
Right.
So I mean, that's where I got my
Right. Yeah, there's always discrepancies depending on who's telling the story, right?
Yeah. So fast forward a couple of years, I think I don't know, I think I was 6, 7, or 8. I don't know when I moved to Maine. Moved to Maine, went to high school to Maine, all the way up through my senior year, or not my senior year, my sophomore year. My father is an outdoor writer, and he was a guide at the time. He still writes for the Maine Sportsman, William Clunie.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, nice.
So I got out. That's where, like, I love going outside. I love getting out. I love being on my own outside, and I enjoy being outside. Hunting and fishing, I don't do it anymore. I don't have time for it. And I really don't have any patience. Like, I don't have the patience to sit in one spot. So that's, my father bought me a metal detector, and he's like, just get outside, dude. It's summertime.
Do something, right? Yeah.
Do something, get out.
Yeah.
So, and that's where, I forgot how old I was when I first got my first metal detector. So,
oh, that's awesome.
So years go on after sophomore year, I moved to Arizona to my mother's house, Tucson, Arizona. I graduate Tucson. I joined the Marine Corps for 4 years. I'm like, I'm done with the military, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I get out, I go to college for 1.5 years, and I'm like, I can't do civilian life. So I joined the Army, and move all over Texas, Alaska, 3 deployments. 7 years later, I come off active duty. become a correctional officer. I'm still in the National Guard or Reserves at the time. And then I work at Kittery or Portsmouth Naval Shipyard as a welder after, because being a correctional officer sucks. So I was like, I'm done. 2 years, I'm done.
Couldn't imagine that.
A good experience, a good life experience. It's not the career for me. That's what I'll say to that. Portsmouth Naval Shipyard, I learned about welding. I was an apprenticeship in shipbuilding or being a ship fitter.
Nice.
And then I forgot how long. I think I was there for a little under a year. And then my wife wanted to move back to Waterville, so I got a job at BIW.
Wow.
I work at BIW. I started working at BIW which I liked. I liked the job. It was their manufacturing part in Brunswick. And but you're alone at night in a booth. And no one talks.
Were you working like the graveyard shift and all that?
Yeah. So like my head when I'm alone, like it just thinks. It just thinks what I could do.
Yeah.
And so I start fantasizing again about this about like going out, being outside, because that's my kids were at the age where I wanted, like when I was their age, my dad would take me out. We'd go on travel, hunting, camping, whatever, have all these adventures. And it was sad because I couldn't do that because I was always working. So like it put me in that state of mind where I wanted to get out.
You need something.
Yeah. So my wife was like, fine, I'll get you something. What do you want? And she bought me a metal detector. And so I started getting into metal detecting again. I go on orders to Pennsylvania. And like I said, I needed something to do on the side. And so I started metal detecting again because I brought my metal detector. Because Chambersburg is, I won't go into it. Burning of Chambersburg was before Gettysburg. There's a lot of history in Chambersburg.
Okay,
so,
yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Revolutionary War.
So you must have found some cool stuff there, though, huh?
There could be, yes.
Yeah.
So, and there is. I just didn't find a lot of cool stuff.
Right.
So I'm relearning metal detecting and going on YouTube, starting my own YouTube channel. I didn't start to have a YouTube channel. I started making videos to record my different finds, and I slowly learned. And I watched these other YouTubers, and like they'd have like 8,000 views or 8,000 subscribers, and they were doing their own thing. And I'm like, how can I not really comparing myself, but I wanted to do more. I wanted to take. It motivated me to change my channel,
right?
To make changes in how I do things. And then so I was in Pennsylvania for a year. A lot of cool stuff. If you look at my channel, the Kennedy States, I call it the Kennedy States. Okay. The property itself.
I saw some of that. Yeah.
Is from the 1600s, but a great permission, amazing. Like the lady that owned it she said, just don't destroy anything. She wanted me to historically map the property.
Oh, really?
And yes. And so I didn't like. Everybody always asks, "What's your favorite find?" I have lots of favorite finds.
Yeah.
But they always want to know about what's the most valuable find is what they're asking.
Right.
And it's never, I don't know, for me, it's not the most valuable find. I always want to find valuable stuff.
Right.
But my favorite find was finding where the old blacksmith shop for the property was. And or the foundation for it. And or they call it a gristle mill. And so it's where they make square nails. And I found that property by looking at an old map, which
I'm making notes because I want to make sure I watch some of these videos.
It was a huge property. So like I forget, the map was from like 18 something ish. I don't know, but it was two maps because the county line split it in half. Okay. So like I looked at one.
So you had to go two different spots and match them up.
So I saw on maps, buildings are just black dots. So I was like, oh, it's there was a building there. Because I had started finding a lot of square nails. Like I didn't even need the metal detector. I would just dig a hole and I'd find just a boatload of square nails.
Oh wow!
So then that's a foundation there. There's a foundation there, but there was more square nails than normal. So it was either a large building or it was a gristle mill.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure it's a gristle mill. But
right.
so that is, from that time, that's probably one of my favorite finds.
I bet. That sounds awesome. We definitely have to check those out.
So also at the end of my time in at the Kennedy Estates in Chambersburg, that's when I started to get into coins more. The war nickels, I found my first war nickel, which is, I think it was 1952. And I found my first transitional penny, which is when they started using the wheat penny, or not the wheat penny, it was after the wheat penny. So the memorial penny. It's the year like directly after.
Yeah.
And so it's one of the reasons I love metal detecting, because there's so many facets that you can get into. You can research gear, especially for YouTube. Like there's so many different things, because in the winter, like in Maine, the ground freezes. So you have to go and do different things. You have to think about different ways, different videos that you can make, different content that you can make to entertain people.
Right.
So, and metal detecting, like I didn't think about that when I started. That wasn't my purpose. I just wanted to record stuff.
That's cool. Now, let's go back to the coins for a quick second. I'm just curious. Like when you find an old coin like that, is there like, do you take it somewhere to get it appraised? Like, do you know? Do you usually hold on to them? I mean,
I hold on to them. I have unless it's like from the 90s or like even the 80s. Like I give it to my oldest daughter. Like she has a coin piggy bank. But if like all the stuff that I keep, or I want to keep.
Yeah.
I haven't taken it to any of my stuff to anybody, but there's a place in Augusta, and there's another place in Brunswick. There's multiple places throughout the state that'll
appraise it if you wanted to. Right.
It.
Yeah. I'd have a hard time not like putting them in a nice like plaque or something, just throwing.
I know. I either I'm 50-50. I'm like, either want to save it and be like, yes, or how much can I get for this? Like how, it's just how I think.
Hopefully you'll never need the money that bad, but hey, it's kind of nice to at least have it. So have it there. So that's cool. Yeah.
But so I come back to Maine, and I don't have any properties. I don't have any permission, and I kind of have to start over.
Right.
So I start calling people. That's the one thing I learned is you have to network. Mm-hmm. Like you have to, especially in metal detecting, you have to network. You have to call people. You have to, that random one person you don't, you wouldn't look at normally. You say, hey, do you know somebody? And it's Maine, so they definitely know somebody. Everybody knows somebody who has property.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I've gotten started, and I've pushed. I've got my channel back to Maine.
Right.
Local history. I love history. So and I love that history that no one talks about, that everybody like kind of spaces over. Like I didn't know about this, and I actually saw this on Facebook, and I was like, that's garbage. And it wasn't. The KKK in Maine in the 20s, it was like there's a good 10-year span where it was huge, because the Catholics and the Protestants, like they didn't mesh like that. It wasn't a good time for the Catholics in Maine. So it's just an odd, like it's an odd time. That's the history. That's the part of history I like. The stuff that no one mentions. No one.
You don't really talk about it. It's probably not taught in schools anymore.
School.
Yeah. That's interesting. How'd you come up with the name Mainely Digger? Is that just something that popped in your head one day, or is it like
I was homesick in Pennsylvania. That's what it was, and I was like, I need to think about a creative name, creative name, and it just popped in my head. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe because there's a pub. My favorite pub is the Mainely Brew, or Mainely Brews. I don't know. Maybe it was that. I don't know. Honestly.
Right. Yeah. Sure. It's popped in. So what do you think the future of you and your channel is here? You're gonna keep plugging away and making videos?
Keep plugging away.
We're gonna try to see. We're gonna see on the History Channel sometime. You think?
That'd be awesome. I'm in college right now, so it's
good.
And I'm working, but once I'm working a security contract, at Colby College. So
cool.
That contract is done. Once that contract is done, I'm going to school full time. So
Nice.
I'm still making videos. I'm still metal detecting. So every time I go out,
Yeah.
but I would like to get more history tours or historic tours of buildings
Yeah.
in and around Waterville and Augusta. I'll go anywhere. If someone says, "Hey, yeah, go ahead, do this," then I'm going to do it.
You're going to go check it out. Yeah.
Gear. I'd like people to send me stuff to try, but I don't want to buy it. But it's just one of those things. Any direction, if I can go there and it's related to metal detecting, history, or research, it's cool.
Yeah. I might have to hook you up with, if nothing else, just to network with them. There's a pawn shop down here in Portland. His name is Stinson. And I did a podcast with him a while back. Super cool guy, loves history as well. I might have to just hook you guys up just so you guys can chat a little
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
And actually, he has been on the History Channel on that, what's that? The Pawn Stars, the Pawn Stars show?
Yeah.
He's been on there as, a guy selling them something, you know what I mean? That type of thing. But anyway, it just made me think of it when I mentioned the History Channel. So I think one last thing, man, you mentioned like building tours and stuff like that. Aside from the Kennedy estates, I mean, I saw your video. I think it was 10 historic buildings or something like that in Maine.
Or my hit list that I would love to do.
Yeah.
Which I've gotten turned down for most of them because I want to do. Okay. There's for metal detecting. There's a tour. There's one I forgot what it was called, but it's the Travis Mills Foundation. They took over this estate, and it's for rehabilitating disabled veterans. And they were like, "No, we'd love to, but we actually have patient private, you can't. They didn't want me there.
Can't bring you on there. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Is there any like any places that you're just like itching to get to?
That one I want to because it's like it was a salon back in the 30s. The POW camps in Maine from World War II would be a good one, but I'm pretty sure they've been hit up pretty hard by detectorists.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, probably all the time, right?
Yeah. I'd love the Benedict Arnold expedition into Maine going up to Quebec. I'd love to hit some of those spots or possible spots that they stayed at. Some of them are historic sites, so they're protected. Like Fort Halifax and Waterville is protected.
Right.
So, but there's some spots that aren't. But I'd love to just take do a video going through, or a series of videos going up the Kennebec, and I don't know. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I'll go if there's history, I'll go there. A lot of my tours that I've done, videos, they don't get a lot of people don't watch them. I just do them because they're fun. They're more for me than anything.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, well, it's a good way to document it. Show it to your kids, and all that kind of stuff. Why not, right? Yeah, awesome. Well, hey, man, this was awesome. You got anything else that you want to throw out there? I think we covered a lot.
I would say so Operation Reboot Outdoors is for veterans. It's a Maine nonprofit business, not business, but it's a nonprofit organization that helps veterans they go out in the woods. They go out and they do hunting trips, fishing trips, and it's to get veterans with issues with disabled, just veterans and law enforcement.
Yeah,
out in the woods, and they're geared towards disabled veterans, but just talk to them. Go check they have a channel on YouTube, and they have a website. Dan and Nicole Waite. I lived in Dixfield for a little while, and I grew up, I spent a good amount of time with them in high school. Good people.
And it's operationreboot.org, you said?
Operation Reboot Outdoors.
Outdoors, okay.
Yes.
I love
that. But
that.
Dan's a veteran himself, and he on his channel he has a coffee time, and he kind of tells his story. He does tell his story. So it's a support them, go help them, especially during this time. They had planned, because every summer or around this time, not summer, they have the Maine Sportsman Outdoors out in a show in Augusta. Yeah. So they bought all this gear for that show, and then coronavirus hit. So like
Oh.
they have all this gear, and that's where they have, I forgot what, they have a mission that they want to set. They have a task they're trying to accomplish and get money for, get profits for, and it's that show would have helped them out really,
Right.
and they can't do it. But they're doing a good job. They're getting the money in. There's people that are donating, but if anyone wants to volunteer their time or volunteer their money, that's, for me, that that's the route I would go. But that's just me.
That's great, man. I'll pop a link, in the description, of course, promoting your channel, but also Operation Reboot Outdoors.org. Hopefully we get some people to support that. And hey, man, thank you for your service as well, man. We all really appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, hey, Brian, thanks, buddy. I appreciate you coming on.
Me. It's been fun.
Virtual handshake.
Oh, high five again.
All right, man. Hey, thanks again for coming on. Hey, everybody, hopefully this was helpful. Hit up Brian's YouTube channel. Check out Operation Reboot Outdoors.org. This is a great interview, man. I really appreciate it.
I had fun. Thanks for having me. It was really a really good time.
Yeah, great. And hey, remember, everybody, if you're going to make Maine your home, you don't have to do it alone.
Hey everyone, thank you for watching or listening to the Make Maine Your Home podcast. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to subscribe to it, hit the little bell so you get notified when new episodes come on, and share it via Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, or wherever you hang out. And be sure to check out my website at makemainyourhome.com, and of course my YouTube channel at youtube.com/makemainyourhome. And as always, remember, if you're gonna make Maine your home, you don't have to do it alone.